Okay, hi, welcome. My name is Michelle Jutrissa and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stamping Up here in Australia, New South Wales, New South Wales, Australia, sorry. Just like to welcome you again today. I'm hoping you're having a lovely day. It's quite cool here. Winter is starting to set in. So let me just find us very quickly on my tablet here so I can pop my tablet to one side. Looks like I'm up and running, which is great. And please leave me a comment and let me know who you are and where you are from. I want to get started into this pretty quickly. This might take a little bit of time today. We're going to make a gift box for Mother's Day. So let me flip my camera around, and I also want to tell you about some promotions that Stamping Up have got going at the moment. So let me just flip my camera, won't be a moment. Okay, so I hope you can see this. I'm just waiting for it to come up very quickly on my tablet. I've just got some new lighting, so I hope that's all okay for us today. Let me just quickly adjust that. Okay, so Stampin' Up's annual catalogue is now live, so I can now actually show you what's in this beautiful catalogue. I'm not going to spend too much on this today. Actually, I probably won't spend much on this at all because I want to wait and leave it until my products come in, which hopefully will be sometime early next week, and I'll do a special Facebook Live just to show you my new products from this catalogue. But what I do want to share with you, if you go to the very back of the catalogue, you've got a host and join. And this is where it tells you all about how you can host a workshop in your own home, or you could do one virtually, whatever suits you, or you could, if you don't live in the Southern Highlands and you don't have the room and the space to do it in yours, as long as it's a day that I've got free with my family, then maybe we could even organise it to have it at my place. But also too with this, you've got the information about joining. So I want to talk a little bit first about the host. Now we've got a special promotion happening at the moment, and it's called Connect, Craft and Collect. And if you host a workshop for this month between 4th of May and the 14th of June, you can earn extra rewards. Now, you don't have to host a workshop if you don't want to host one. You could do a virtual type one. You could get a couple of catalogues from me and share them with your friends and take some orders. Because when you have orders and your orders come to $250, then you get 10% of that to spend. So if your orders are total $250 before postage, then you get $25 to spend absolutely free. Now, in the back of our catalogue, let's just go back to this, and I'm going to turn the page over. There's all these wonderful products here that you can choose for free. And one of them is this lovely designer series paper, which I showed you, I think, last week. And we're going to be using that again today, this week as well. Now, this designer series paper, it's, I think, from what I've heard, it's the first time they've had designer series paper in the host and earn section, and it's a huge pack of paper. One side of it is coloured, and the other side is black and white prints. There's 48 double-sided sheets in there, 4 of each design. So it is really, really worthwhile having a look at that, and some other beautiful stamp sets. So if you host a party, as I said, $250 or more, you get 10% to spend on yourself, which is $25. If you don't think you can make a order for $250, but you can get a group of friends together and you all have a look, share the catalogue, have a look through it, place an order, you just have to ask me for a host code, and that can all go under your name, and you can reap the benefits of that as well. Now, once you get up to $400 and over, Stamping Up are going to give you an extra $40. So $400, you get your 10%, which is $40. And then with this promotion here, which goes to the 14th of June, you will get an extra $40 Australian to spend on Stamping Up products of your choice. So it's really worthwhile thinking about. Have a think about it. and let me know if you're interested, and I can help you to organise to whether you want to have a party or whether you want to do it, just share it with some of your friends, particularly if you don't live in the Southern Highlands. If you live somewhere else here in Australia, I can help you on that one as well. So, you know, we may not be able to do a face-to-face, but you can still reap the benefits if you've got friends who might be interested in these products as well. Hi Ursula, how are you? The other promotion that Stampin' Up are offering at the moment is our Join Plus. So if you join Stampin' Up between the 4th and the 31st of May, Stampin' Up will give you extra money to spend on product. Now, normally you would only get, I think, let me have a look. It's all in this catalogue. Let's keep turning my page. Hold on one sec. I'm just going to find where it is in the catalogue here. Okay. No, going too far. Okay, here it is. It's back where I was before. So normally what you do is you would pay $169 and get $235 worth of product. And that could be any sort of product that you want. You could even put the cut and embossing machine into that. So that's quite a good value. But with this promotion that they've got running to the 31st of May, instead of $235 worth of product, they're going to give you $283 worth of product. So you can choose and make up your own kit out of any of the products in the Stampin' Up catalogue to the value of $283. That's an extra amount that you can spend, and you're still only paying $169 for it. So really worthwhile thinking about that if you want to join Stampin' Up, and I'd love to have you join my team. So let me just get all this out of the road, because I can keep talking about this for a long time, and let's get started on our project that we're going to create today. Now, the other day I received a magazine catalogue in the mail, and it was an embroidery catalogue, and I was going through it, and at the back of it, now I don't have the piece of the catalogue here to show you, but at the back was some gift packaging ideas that they had that you could make. And I thought, wow, I can do that. Stampin' Up, I've got products that I can do that with. So what I've come up with is this great little box. So it's a great little gift box. This one here, I've done it for one of my boys. So I've decorated the box at the front with using the Handsomely Suited suite, which is still available at the moment in your mini catalogue, which goes to the end of June, and you get the Handsomely Suited suite stamps, which I haven't used at all in this project, and you get your coordinating dies. So you've got all these dies here to make suits and so forth with, and if you have a look at my blog, you will find some other ideas of how to use it. But what I've done today is I've just created this shirt front. I've created it with a box with a tie at the back, so you can easily open this up and pop some goodies inside of there. Also make a great Father's Day. And when I thought about this last night, and I thought, because I was thinking of doing another one exactly the same, and I thought Mother's Day is only this week, on this coming weekend, and I'm not necessarily creating this for me, but it might get posted off to my mum. So I thought we'd make another one of these, but let's make it for Mother's Day. So I've already done some of the work for us. The only thing I haven't done is shown you how to cut the box. So let me just pop all of this to one side, and I'm going to bring in some Calypso Coral cardstock and my cutting tool. Now I'm just going to actually move this back a little bit just so I can fit this all on. So you might be feeling a little bit giddy. I'm terribly sorry. Okay, that can fit in there nicely now. I will on my blog draw these up better. This is my working tool last night, because when I posted I was doing my Facebook Live yesterday, I had no idea what we were going to do. So last night while I was preparing dinner, I sat down and very quickly drew this up. So it's a lot of figures, a lot of diagrams, but I will neaten this all up and post this on my blog with all the measurements that we're using today. You do need to use a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. The reason for this is your 12 by 12 cardstock in centimeters is 30.5 centimeters by 30.5 centimeters. This box from end to end flat works out at 29 centimeters, and the complete depth of the box, including the flaps on either end, works out at 25. Now, if you didn't have any 12 by 12, you can still make this up, but what you would have to do is add a couple of extra joins. So I've added here, I don't know whether you can see, it's a 1 centimeter strip, and that's for my join when I'm going to join my box. And I always put my joins on my back because they're less noticeable. So that's where my box has got a closure there. So if you were going to make this and you wanted to make it in the A4 cardstock, what I would recommend doing is this back panel will become a separate piece. So if you look at my diagram here, this is my front panel, that's my back panel. I've actually put my tabs there on my front panel, on that side panel here. What I would do is I would actually take that portion off, add another 1 centimeter tab on the end here. So if I grab my pencil, so what I would be doing is removing this section, adding another centimeter tab there, and then make up this section as one piece. So again, all your joins will go to the back of your box, but this piece here, the back and what folds underneath, will become a separate piece. And that way your joins are still at the back, you still have a nice neat front of your box. So if you want to do it with A4, just remember to do it there. I might actually even put that into my instructions when I draw them up for my blog post, so then it's there for you if you wanted to use that. But I'm going to do this on a piece of 12 by 12. So let me get started, and we're going to pop this over to one side. So I need to cut this piece of cardstock down. So we're going to start off by cutting it down to our 29 centimeters. So we need to pull this arm out further, and hopefully you can see this. So we're going to take this to 29, 28, 29, and trim that and take that away. We're then going to turn this around, so then we've got our cut edge now along the top. Oops, just let me grab these little pieces. I've pre-cut a whole lot of little pieces here. Don't want to lose all of them, so let's pop them over there. Okay, so now we need to cut our depth of our box. So our depth I worked out is 25 centimeters. 26, 25, and we're going to cut that and remove that. So now we've got a piece of cardstock which is 29 centimeters by our 25. Now I need to put along, just trying to work out, that's 25 that way, so I need to put some score lines along here. So just bear with me 1 second. I'm going to do our across the top here first. So I'm going to start off with, I'm going to score this at 9 centimeters. So I've made our front of our box 9 centimeters. I'm making sure my cutting tool is well and truly out of the road. So I'm going to score that at 9. And then I'm going to score at, so we need 5 centimeters for our side box. So that's at 14. Then we're going to score another 5, so that's going to make it 19. I know, 14, 5, 9, sorry. So 14 and 9 is 23. And then we're going to make it another 5, so that's 28. And that will leave us 1 centimetre at the side for our fold over. I'm going to turn this over again. So I've just done that along that 29 centimetre edge. So I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to put the 25 centimetre edge across the top again. And this time we're going to score this at 5 centimetres. Now again, we're not cutting, we're just scoring. And then I'm going to take that out. I'm just going to close this up so you can see this a little bit better. So I've just scored this one here at 5 centimetres. I'm going to take this out and turn it around and score it at 5 centimetres on the other end. I'll go through this again with you just so then you know what I've done. Hi Vicky, hi Glenda, how are you? So let's just put that to one side for the moment. Okay, so what I've got here, this is my 29 centimetres going across the width here, and I've scored it at 9 centimetres. Then another 5, which means I'm scoring that at 14. I've added another 9, that's for my, so what I've got so far is my back panel, my side panel, then across from my front panel, which is a score line at 23. Then I've got my side panel again, which is another 5 centimetres, and that's scored at 28, and I've got a 1 centimetre strip there at the side. If I turn it around, I've scored it 5 centimetres from this edge coming in and 5 centimetres from this edge coming in, which will give me a depth of my box of 15 centimetres. So we're going to finish up with a box that's 15 centimetres down and 5 centimetres deep. Okay, so we need to trim some of this away. You just grab my pencil and I'll show you what we're going to trim away. So we need to trim away this portion here of our tab and this portion here of our tab. We only need to keep that middle section there. We also need to keep, that's our front of our box, so we need to keep the piece at the top here and the piece at the bottom. Now at the top all I need is that piece, so I don't actually need any of that one, or that one. So I'm going to trim those sections away, but I'm going to cut up each of these score lines here until I get to that first score line crossing them. Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. Now you can trim some of this away with your trimmer, or you can use a pair of scissors. Now I'm just actually going to trim this away with my trimmer, so I'm just going to line my score line up with my 5 centimetres, and I'm going to bring this down. I need to be able to see my score lines. I'm not probably going to get it quite 100% correct, but I'm going to trim that as long as I've a little bit away from that score line there, so I haven't gone right up to that score line as yet. I'm going to do the other side as well. This just gives me a nice straight cut to start with. So I'm going to pop that trimmer away because we've now finished with that for the time being. I'm going to grab my pair of scissors and we're going to cut away. So this one here, I didn't need that part there. I don't need this piece here, so I'm going to trim this away here. And I'm just following those score lines to get a nice straight line. But I'm going to actually here just wedge a little piece out there, and the same here, just wedge it out, and that'll just help when we fold the box, hide those little pieces. So We don't need this section, so let's cut away this one. And I didn't cut all the way when I cut it with my trimmer. That's fine. So we'll take that piece out. We don't need those two sections. So we'll remove that. And then we're just going to cut up each one of these to that first score line. So I'm just going to cut along here to there. Cut this one up to there, and the last one up to there. Now with these pieces here, I'm going to again just take out a small wedge. Just helps when the box is folded for everything to stay square. Believe it or not, if you don't remove these, you don't necessarily get a square box because they interfere with the folding. Because even though the cardstock is only about 1 millimetre in depth, that millimetre can make a big difference to everything folding nice and square and neat and tidy for us. Okay, now I'm also going to actually do it, I'm not going to wedge this one here, but I'm going to do it with this back one because again, I just want it to be, and this is, you're not going to actually see this one, it's going to be tucked away because I like everything to be folded to the back of my box. So that's what you're left with now. So now what we can do is we can burnish all these score lines. So I'm just going to fold that over. And you can use your bone folder if you want, just to make sure that all of those are nice and crisp folds. Turn it around and do the same here. Now I am just going to bring back in my trimmer just for one more piece. I just want to put a fold line here. It only has to be 5 to 6 centimeters in length. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that piece out of the road. Now this is our side panel. Our side panel is 5 centimeters, which is roughly 2 inches. So I'm just going to butt that up to there. I want to make sure my cutter is right out of the road. And I'm going to pop the marker on my scoring blade here at around about 27 centimeters, and I'm going to score a line there. It just helps with folding your box. And I'm going to do the same with this one here. I'm going to pop that on halfway, so I've got, there's an inch, so I've got my 2 score lines here. I'm going to line it up with the inch on either side of that groove, and then again about 26, and give that a bit of a score. That's just going to help when we fold our box to give you a really nice finish at the top. So what it's going to do is at the top here, just give you a nice fold just there. So when that comes together, that just comes together nice and neat. Now, a few other preparation things we need to do for our box. What they would need to actually finish by just burnishing these fold lines here. That's all done. So we need to put some adhesive. So I need to put some adhesive. Now this is the front of my box. That's the inside of my box. So my folds are all going in. And I need to put a strip of adhesive along that 1 centimeter tab that we've created on the side of our box. Now I like to use this as close as I possibly can to my fold, and this is our tear and tape. Now, I'm not taking this off at the moment. We are going to decorate our box first, but I am just going to work out, okay, that closes there. Those sides are going to go in. That's our front, and we need to put some tear and tape along here as well. And I'm going to pop just a couple of pieces along here, just because I don't know what I'm going to put in this box yet. I haven't bought anything for Mum as yet, so I want to make sure this box is going to stay nice and secure. So I'm just going to rub that down with my bone folder just to make sure that that tape. So if we go back, that's the front of our box. So I've got a strip of tear and tape there. If I flip it over, that's our front, and I've got 3 pieces of tear and tape there, and that's just so we can close our box up. But what we need to do now is we need to prepare our folder over at the back. So what I've done here is I have curved my corners just to give it a nice finish, and I have punched a couple of holes. Now unfortunately this hole punch by Stampin' Up is now discontinued, but I worked out it's still the best one to use. I made a template of this one here last night, and as you can see I was working with another little one, another punch that makes a hole, which is still current in our catalogue, which is this punch here. You've got this hole here, but it only goes just a little way in, and that would have been fine for here, but I needed to go a long way to meet with that hole there. So I'm going back to unfortunately the punch that we don't have available. So let me just line this up so I can actually work out as a template where I want our holes to go. So we want one there and one there. So that's on now the back piece of our front. Here's our back panel, and I'm going to flip this over and line it up that way so I can see where our holes are going to go, and put a hole there and a hole there. So just grabbing our punch, we just need to punch out that hole. That one. Hi Heidi, how are you this week? Thank you for joining us again. Punch another one there. Now just remember, if you have any questions, please post them on there. Now how's that lighting going? It is flickering a little bit. I'm just trying something new. I've put a bit of tissue paper over my lighting, hoping that was going to stop the flickering. If that's annoying, just let me know and I can switch that off. If you have any questions, please post it in the comments, and if I don't see them before we're finished today, I will get back to them afterwards. So now we need to round the corners on this. So again, we're just using this punch here. Slip it in, following the guides, punch down. Do the same on the other side, making sure we're nice and square there. Punch down, beautiful. So we've got some nice, so that's our box. Got some nice rounded corners, I was going to say. So that's our box all made and flat, but we're not going to put it together just yet. I found last night it's probably going to be a lot easier to decorate this box before we put it all together. So what I've got is a piece of that designer series paper, as I said, that comes in that big huge pack, and I've chosen this one for my mother's shirt, and we're going to adhere it onto the front of our box. Now this piece here measures 9 centimeters in width, and it's actually 14.9 millimeters in depth. I made it 1 millimeter shorter, even though I've got this at 15 centimeters. I just didn't want anything to overhang. So we're going to get our multi-purpose glue, and we're going to attach this onto the front of our box. So making sure we've just got some really generous amount of glue on this, but not too much close to the edges. We don't want it to ooze out too much. And we're going to pop that down and pop that inside those measurements, and I would have it almost flush with the top, but just have that little bit. So if you wanted to flip this over, give it a good press down so that spreads that glue out. If you don't spread the glue out, you can end up with globs underneath your paper, and that will give us a nice good coverage. So we've got our front of our shirt. Now the next thing is to decide. What I've done is I've cut a tab front in white. I've cut a pocket in white. I didn't know whether I was going to do a pink, or what I should say, Calypso Coral collar, or whether I would do a white collar. What do you think? I'm going to do a white pocket, and on the top of my pocket I'm going to put this little trim here. So while I'm gluing that, let me know, what do you think it should be? A white collar or a Calypso Coral collar? Plenty of time to let me know, because my glue doesn't want to come out of the bottle. I'll just need a pair of tweezers. Just to make sure that okay, what have we decided? No one's giving me any ideas? Okay, there's our pocket. Do we go a white collar or do we go a Calypso Coral? Okay, let's have a look. If we go a Calypso Coral, that's going to go through there, not all the way up to the top. Have that there. Oh, I actually quite like that, I think. Whoops, there went a button flying. Do white buttons, or we could do well, let's put this on first and then we'll decide on the buttons. Okay, the way I like to put this on now, I don't know yet whether we should do collar all the way down. I think we'll do it all the way down the front. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue in that corner there, and I'll show you the reason why in a moment, and a little bit in that one, and then I'm just going to pop that down on top. Just center that a little bit. Let's just move this out of the road so I don't end up with glue all over it. Okay, just let that dry. We're just going to do have a bit of extra glue oozing out, so I'm just going to grab one of these pieces of scraps and just take some of that glue away. Doesn't take long for this stuff to dry, so once that's sort of dry enough, then we can work out where we're going to position this. So I just want to grab a little ruler I've got, and I'm just going to mark on here 4 centimeters there, and past up here a little bit, just a little line, 4 centimeters. That is going to get hidden. It just gives me a guide, because this tab front is 1 centimeter wide, what I also need to do is just measure down, just so then I've got an idea how much glue to use. Hoping I've got that nice and straight. And we're just going to put a bit of glue just up through that centre, and then a bit on those collars. Just turn this around and so I can see where my lines are. Going to line up my collar with the top of the shirt. There's one line. It's hidden well there, and the other one is just there. Whoops, I think I've lost a button. So once we've done that, and when that's almost dry, you can just get your scissors and just trim away the bottom of our shirt there. Now I'm going to pop his pocket on. I'm just going to pop that a little bit lower than I did the other one last night. Whoops. Just let that sit. Now let me just have a look how many buttons have I got left, because I think 1, 2, 3, 4, I've lost one. Okay. So I just need to work out whether we're going to put white buttons. Yep, I think we're going to do the coral buttons. So I'm just going to pop these onto glue dots the right way around. It's that button size is almost the exact size of a glue dot. And this just means that I'm not having to play with liquid glue and get liquid glue everywhere. I like to use a pair of tweezers just to help me to position these and press them down. Now we've lost one button, so we can only use 5 buttons on this shirt. That's okay. Odd numbers is always good. Now thankfully the dies and the stamp set that we're using today, or the dies we're using today, is continuing on, so you'll find them in our new catalogue. So I'm going to pop that up a little bit higher. So they are going to be, these are still quite current, which is good. I was actually really pleased the amount of product that is still going to be available. Now I'm just eyeballing this, so let's hopefully I can get this evenly spaced apart, these buttons. That one didn't work too well, did it? Let me just, I might take the back of that one off and then re-put a new one on. When you remove them off, the glue dots off, you do have to be very careful. Don't just do what I just did, just tear the whole back off. Now where did I lose that glue? I've lost that button too. No. find it in a sec. May not need it. I would like to put one more. Let's just see, where have I done it? There it is. Not lost. Let's get another glue dot. Oh, I believe it's stopped raining. It has been raining for 3 days straight here. It's lovely to see the rain, and we need it. But things are now starting to flood. I've got a lake in my backyard. I don't normally get lakes in my backyard here, but I've got a lake happening at the moment. And a lot of places up the main street and around Bowral and Mossvale have actually flooded. And I'll tell you what, they say they're 100-year floods. Well, I think I've had about 500 or 600-year floods since I've been living here in the Southern Highlands. So, a little bit of a fallacy, this 100-year flood. Okay, so there's our box all finished there. We do have to put some strings on it, and what I did here with this one, I used, this is the baker's twine that came within this suite, so it's a basic grey and the night of navy baker's twine, and I put the two of them together and just tied them together with a knot at each end, and I'm going to do that the same here, but I'm going to be using, this is Calypso Coral, and this is not Calypso Coral, it's the twine from the snail mail, but I still feel it goes quite well with it. So I'm just going to take the two of those together. So it's the pink one and the white one. And we're going to measure out around about 1/2 metre, I think it was, that I cut the other two. So that's 1/2 metre. My husband's very kindly attached my brass ruler to the table, which was something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I'm going to take these and just tie a knot at either end. And trim that off so it's both the same length. And then I'm going to thread these through these holes, which is the back of my box. So I'm going to thread them. Just pull that knot a little bit tighter so I can get it through. Push that through. Whoops. And then the other side. Push that one through. Going to bring those two so they're fairly even there, and then all you need is something like a sticky tape, or even the tear and tape. Just don't take the backing off it. Whoops. And I'm just going to pop that over the top just to hold those in place. So that's our cords there that we're going to be able to tie our box up with. So let's put our box together. So we've done all of that. There is something else I want to try to put on here. Let me pop the lid on my glue so it doesn't dry out. And we're going to put our box together, and we'll finish the rest of the decorations, the other ones I'm thinking of putting on there, in a moment. So we're going to fold that side panel in, remove the backing of our tear and tape. And it's as easy as taking this back panel and folding that down on top. And just grab your bone folder and run it down there, and just make sure that that is really adhered to well. So that's going to fold. That's our sides of our box. Excuse me. Then our bottom of our box, we're going to fold in these two little side panels. we're going to fold in our back panel, because remember I always like to have all my folds and everything finishing at the back. So this one here comes around and finishes, can't even see where my join is now. Yep, here on this join here, so it's the back of my box. So I'm going to fold these two in. I'm going to fold my back down, and then I'm folding my front to my back of my box. So we need to remove these strips. Normally this doesn't come off so easy. I've got fingernails at the moment. Okay. Squaring our box up as much as we possibly can, and then bringing that down. And then what you can do is open up your box and get your bone folder in there and just give that a really good push, just to make sure excuse me, that's all nice and folded. Just rubbing the sides of my box here a little bit because I don't want to see the reverse of my designer series paper. I want that just to sit nice. Then we've got those little score lines that we've done on either side. We can push those in, close our box, and then again take our baker's twine, pop it through those holes. So you could fill this box at this point, fill it with some chalky or some jewellery, some soaps, whatever you want to fill that with. Pinch that closed and fold that closed like that. Now that, because we've attached this string on the inside of our box with some sticky tape, that'll hold that nice and firm so we can tie a bow. And there's the back of our box. If we had something in there, it wouldn't be popping like that. And there's the front of our box there. Now, what I thought we could also add on here is maybe some pearls. Oops, I'm just going to straighten that out a little bit. Now the pearls I have here, I do have some of the older ones, and I thought what I could do is grab my dark Calypso Coral blend. I want the brush nib side of it, and I'm going to just colour up some of these pearls, a few of the big ones and a few of the small ones. Using my take a pick tool. Pop a pearl there. Got away from me. Grab another one there. Maybe we won't need those little ones, we might only need the big ones. Actually, I think we might remove those and use the smaller ones. I think the smaller ones are going to look better. Whoops. Use those for something else later. Just wanted to do just like a row of pearls around went walkies. That one's lost its adhesive. That's the beauty of the blends. You can colour any of these, whatever colour you want to use. My tip of my doesn't want to work anymore. Let's pull a bit more putty through. Need to colour a few more of these. Just push them out a little bit just to give a bit more of a curve. Actually, I think I might put a few more. I'm just going to undo this for a bit, just to put my hand in there so I can. I'm having fun with these pearls today. Just going to move that one and just move him down a little bit, stick it there. Do something fiddly and you do it on a live and it doesn't want to work. It's always the way. Room there for one more pearl. So you can see I don't use a lot of pearls. But I want to get these used up so I can buy some new ones. See if I can squish him into there. That one there has to move. Oh. Push them all down, just make sure that they're all hid. Let's just get rid of all of those. Okay. Let's redo the back of this. Just doesn't want to fold down for me today. And there we have it, with us some crooked pearls. There we go. So let's just move all of this out of the road. And there's our two his and her boxes. So I hope you've enjoyed those little boxes. I know, I think my family are going to enjoy them, and filled up with lots of little treats. So I hope you have a lovely week. I hope you're creating lots. I'd love you to share with me on my page. You can go to my Keep On Stamping with Michelle page if you're not already a member, and join that and share with me what you're making. I'd love to see it. I hope you have a great week. Stay warm if you're here in Australia. We're now heading into winter. And if you're somewhere else in the world, take care and have a lovely day. Bye for now.